So I want to install a virtual machine for Raspberry Pi desktop operating system on VirtualBox. So first thing I'm going to do is open my manager, and we select new, give it a name which is Raspberry Pi Desktop OS. Leave the folder the same, it's a Linux distribution, and it's, I believe, Debian 32-bit. We say go. Let's put some extra memory in there. Doesn't need all that, but it doesn't really matter. Virtual hard disk, yes on that. Dynamically allocate. And I've gone up 64 gigabytes for that. Okay, so it's ready to start. First of all though, if we're going to start anything, we need to give it an ISO to work on. So we go to storage, we go to empty, we're going to choose this, which is the latest version of the Raspberry Pi desktop, and we're going to say OK. Now we can start, and it should start to install. First of all, we just check this. I think we have to do that. Say start. There we go. Now we're going to do a graphical install. This may take some time, so I'm going to crop this down, but you can see how it starts. You've probably seen this before many times. Okay, so I'll probably crop this. We'll accept the install the grub bootloader to the master boot record. Yes, we'll continue with that. We want it to go on that disk which we created. Now it'll install the grub bootloader, update it, finish the installation. So that completes the installation. And we just boot the virtual machine and see what happens. Here we are. That's what you would get if you were booting your Raspberry Pi on a Pi 4 or 3 or whatever. And we could go through all the setup instructions, but you'll notice it's not so big. Now if we push this up and try and expand that, that's what happens. Okay, so we need to put the guest additions install into this virtual machine, and the way we do that, we go to devices. It ships with the virtual guest additions, so We should find that in here. Insert guest edition CD. There's not much we can do with that, so what we have to do next is let's do a sudo apt update. And we're going to install the Build Essentials. Next instruction is sudo apt install Build Essentials. There's Linux headers. We need to pick up the name of the current kernel we're using. Get this right. Okay, so that says sudo apt install build essential dkms Linux headers. There's $uname. Oh, right. I think I've already done that. So that would normally run. Okay, so now we need to mount the CD-ROM. So first instruction. Next instruction is to mount CD-ROM. Okay. So we change directories to and we can execute the file that we need, which is, and it's called vbox Linux editions, and we run that with X11. So this will install the necessary modules. This means we can use the full screen instead of having a tiny little box in the middle, which is much easier to work with, of course. Need to reboot, so let's do a sudo shutdown. There we go. So we've installed the necessary. Let's kickstart this, see what happens next. We don't actually need that. I'm going to get rid of that. Now you can see as I expand the screen, this follows it. If I do full screen, there we are, much more usable. And now we're ready to complete all of the things that you need to do to get this thing going properly. So really that's all there is to it. If I just come out of the shut down, right, there we are. One of the things that's probably worth doing once you've fully completed all of the upgrades and updates and set up the Raspberry Pi desktop as you want it, one of the things you can do is to go up to highlight the distribution that you want, or the virtual machine that you want, come up to File, go to Export, and take that and fill in all of these, send it where you want to send it, and click on Next. You can include an ISO image if you wish. Next, and Export. The purpose behind that, of course, is that you can import this again without having to go through all of these shenanigans. So I'm going to switch this off, and I hope you've enjoyed watching this. I hope it's useful to many of the Pi people out there. It does mean that you can use this desktop without having to install it and put it onto your hard drive. You can just load up VirtualBox, pop this in, and do what I've just done, and then you can use it anytime you want without having to set up your Pi, and you can test things on it, programs and so on. So thank you for watching, and well, I might see you again. Goodbye.